Cultural definitions of disease, illness, and sickness also vary. In the next section, we will spend some time discussing these concepts and how they vary. Illness relates to the personal perception of being unable to perform the expected actions or responsibilities. The definitions of illness vary by culture, however, as do the perceptions of and reactions to a physical or psychological condition. Disease is what causes illness, which is an abnormality or malfunctioning of body organs and systems. Sickness is the larger term encompassing the whole disease-illness process. When one becomes ill, they will generally consult others they trust, such as a family member or friend. This person then either gives social legitimization of the illness or delegitimizes it. If the illness is thought to be legitimate, then the sick person is generally excused from their daily obligations. For example, a child who feels ill will consult a parent about his feelings. The parents will then assess the situation and decide if the child is legitimately ill. If so, the child will be excused from going to school that day. In traditional biomedical culture, there are three explanatory models for the cause of disease: immediate causes such as bacterial or viral infections, toxins, tumors, or injury; underlying causes such as smoking, high cholesterol, glucose intolerance, or nutritional deficiencies; and ultimate causes such as hereditary predisposition, environment, and obesity. The causes are generally more complex than this, however. Cultures offer various explanatory models to answer questions regarding what caused the disease, how symptoms are to be perceived and expressed, and how they should be healed, and why one person is sick and another is not. Cultures perceive differing causes of illness. Causes often predict how the patient will approach the illness's progression and seek a cure. Models include sickness being related to the person's action, the natural world, the social world, or the supernatural world, as seen in this model. Sickness due to the patient is attributed to how the patient lives, eats, and feels. Lifestyle choices such as smoking, drinking, and the use of illicit drugs come into play here. There may also be either a genetic or psychological vulnerability to illness or disease. Either way, the responsibility falls on the patient. Sickness may also be due to the natural world, which would include an environmental condition, such as weather, allergens, pollution, wind, or bad air. In many cultures, it is commonly thought that bad air enters the body through pores or orifices. Viruses, bacteria, and parasites also cause illness due to the natural world. The humoral system operates under the premise that disharmony with the environment can cause illness, while those who believe in astrology feel that planetary alignment determines one's fate. Natural forces such as lightning, falling rocks, or accidents are also due to the natural world. Sickness can also be due to the social world. It is commonly believed that the evil eye, when one stares at another for a long period of time, can project harm on another person, especially children. In countries who believe in this, it is not uncommon for parents to cover their children's heads with a piece of clothing to prevent them from being stared at. Still others feel that conjuring can cause illness. This is when one with supernatural powers, such as a sorcerer, root or herb doctor, or voodoo or hoodoo doctor, directs hostility toward a person. Both hoodoo and voodoo are widely practiced, and both share similar elements and roots in Africa. They are also both products of mixed beliefs that include pagan traditions, ancient worship, and elements of European religions. However, the main difference between hoodoo and voodoo is that voodoo is actually an existing religion, while hoodoo is simply considered folk magic or conjure. It incorporates practices from Native American traditions in Africa, as well as some European magical practices, and grimoires, which are textbooks of magic. Sickness due to the supernatural world is thought to be caused by the actions of gods, spirits, or the ghosts of ancestors. It is thought that spirit possession and malevolent spirits can actually cause soul loss. As pictured here, the tombs of ancestors in China are visited and cared for on a regular basis in order to please ancestral spirits. Often the tombs are in the middle of family fields to ensure good crops. Folk illnesses or culture-bound syndromes associate certain symptoms, complaints, and behavioral changes with specific conditions. These conditions may be difficult to treat because the affected person and the person offering treatment may have different cultural beliefs that hinder mutual understanding and interaction. For example, a person with anorexia nervosa would not label the condition as an illness and therefore is generally very resistant to treatment. Examples of folk illnesses or culture-bound syndromes include the soul loss experienced by some Asians and Latinos, muso or mental illness in young Samoan women, and SUNS or sudden unexpected nocturnal death syndrome in Cambodians caused by fright from the nightmare spirit. Folk illnesses may also be diet-related, such as in the case of high blood, low blood in the African American population, and anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa, which are typically culture-bound folk illnesses found most often in the United States. While the typical biomedical approach focuses on diagnosing, curing the disease, and removing any physical abnormalities, unconventional healthcare addresses the whole experience of the illness. It doesn't just treat the psychological aspects of what has gone wrong with the person. It takes a broader, more holistic view of the total experience of the person. Healers of any type are chosen based on availability, cost, and previous care experiences, with the person seeking out a healer believed to have the suitable skills. For example, most cultures recognize the value of biomedicine in emergencies, but otherwise, biomedicine is often negatively viewed as impersonal, costly, inconvenient, painful, as well as ignorant of the relevant cultural ethics. I think that those of us who have worked in the health field understand this very well. Folk healers, on the other hand, are thought to better understand the illness within the context of the culture. And so a folk healer is often chosen to treat folk illnesses. Healing therapies, including administration of healthcare measures ranging from botanical medicine, homeopathy, and naturopathic medicine, to physical manipulations and magical or religious interventions. Some healing therapies that you are probably familiar with include home remedies such as herbs and vitamins, chiropractic manipulations, homeopathy, hypnosis, and massage. There are lots of different remedies out there. This sign was found in Belize, by the way. Those who professionally practice in the conventionally recognized healing arts systems of the world must obtain a great deal of education or training in order to do so. This includes those in traditional biomedicine, traditional Chinese medicine, and those who treat using Ayurvedic medicine, which is the ancient Asian Indian system of healing. This is a clinic sign found in India that I thought you might find interesting. Regardless of what system is used, however, treatment generally falls into one of three broad categories: administration of therapeutic substances, application of physical forces or devices, or magico-religious interventions. Here we have a pharmacist sign also found in Belize. The administration of therapeutic substances, of course, includes the prescribing of pharmaceuticals, but it also encompasses diet prescriptions or medical nutrition therapy, as well as botanical medicines such as herbs. Homeopathy also fits under this treatment category. Those who subscribe to this treatment venue believe that the symptoms in illness are evidence that the body is curing itself, and that the acceleration or exaggeration of the symptoms speeds the healing. In other words, like cures like. In this case, diluted venom may actually be given as a cure for snake bite. Naturopaths attempt to aid the body in healing itself, usually through non-invasive natural treatments. The administration or application of physical forces or devices includes the practice of chiropractic, which attempts to normalize nerve function by dealing with misalignments of the spine. Osteopathic medicine also uses manipulation of the musculoskeletal system, but in an attempt to normalize blood and lymph flow in addition to nerve function. Massage therapy is also becoming more and more popular. Acupressure, pinching, scratching techniques, pointing, and the list goes on. Acupuncture, moxibustion, cupping, electrotherapies, biofeedback, hydrotherapy, and Reiki. These are all treatments administered through physical forces. Acupuncture combined with electrotherapy is a typical treatment in traditional Chinese medicine, as seen in this photo. Please take the time to view the short demonstration videos of some of these techniques posted under the Chapter 2 module. Reiki is a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that also promotes healing. It is administered by laying on hands and is based on the idea that an unseen life force energy flows through us and is what causes us to be alive. If one's life force energy is low, then we are more likely to feel sick and stressed, and if it is high, we are more capable of being happy and healthy. The word Reiki is made of two Japanese words, Rei, which means God's wisdom or the higher power, and Ki, which is life force energy. The body's vital energy, according to Chinese medicine and thought in general, is referred to as Qi or Qi. For the Chinese, the human body itself is based on energy. When these energies are in balance, one is healthy, and when they are out of balance, one is unhealthy. You will have a much better understanding of this school of thought after watching The Mystery of Qi, which is also posted underneath of the Chapter 2 module. There are 6 parts to the film that total approximately 1 hour. Please take the time to take notes as you view this film, because next week we will be having a graded class discussion with this documentary as the subject. I think you will find it quite interesting. I certainly did. Reflexology is another physical treatment that involves pressure point massage, usually of the feet, but sometimes also on the hands and ears to restore the flow of energy throughout the entire body. The science of reflexology has been around for thousands of years. It is based on the premise that there are reflexes in our hands, feet, and ears that relate to every organ and part of our body. By stimulating these reflexes with pressure and manipulation, nerve function and blood supply may be improved. This may alleviate stress and other health problems. And the third type of intervention is magico-religious intervention. This method involves spiritual healing processes undertaken by an individual or a sacred healer. Praying for sacred intervention would fit under this category. Healing is thought to occur through restoring balance by including prayers and offerings to God and/or ancestors. Magical religious interventions may be undertaken by the individual themselves through prayer, meditation, yoga, guided imagery, or hypnotherapy, or another, such as a sacred healer, may make the interventions. They include faith healing, powwowing, voodoo, shamanism, and the practices of medicine men. This photo is of a Buddhist temple in China where offerings are left and prayers are sent, often to request the assistance of a higher power.